Okay, call the meeting to order at 5:02 PM. First order on the agenda is the minutes of the last meeting. I gave you a few comments, I think John did too. Mark, did you have any comments on the minutes?
I do not.
Motion to accept the minutes as corrected from January 20th.
January, no.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, January 20th.
Yep.
January 20th. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No.
Aye, aye, aye.
It's one of the longer sets of minutes. All right, warrants and one abatement have been coming around to sign.
Who's that mic up there?
So we will, so in front of you, so don't chew too loud.
Mhm.
So, James Hoyt, Data and Howard, project update, please.
So I'll try to break last meeting's record, have an even longer meeting minutes for you guys this time. Right, so what you want?
More paperwork.
Thank you.
Thanks, James. You got it.
So we'll start with Manly. I kind of reworked the funding piece of this, I think, to be more useful for Wayne and I to get on the same page with the ARPA piece. So not a whole lot has changed on the top part since last meeting. We're currently processing a couple pay applications. Our invoicing period just closed on Friday. So there's no new invoice included since the last time I sent you guys this update. But what we did add is at the very bottom, this ARPA update. And we're reaching the point of the project where there's, end in sight, and we're getting a handle on, how much funds we're going to allocate towards ARPA versus SRF. So the first thing I want to note is that we did talk to DEP since you and I last talked, and they clarified that this February date is essentially when they're finalizing the loan. So you still have a year and 10 months from the end of February where you can still draw down the loan. So although we're not going to prolong the project that long, we did clarify that if for some reason the project has an invoice from the contractor after February, it still is eligible under the SRF. I think just internally they're switching from the short term to the finalized loan. But that doesn't have any impact on our ability to submit reimbursement requests. So
That's not how they worded the email.
I understand, that's why we talked to Danielle to say, what is, this is bizarre, what does this actually mean? So you can kind of see here, we've outlined at the very bottom, the outstanding items and the outstanding costs. So Pay App 12 is the one that Barry sent you today.
Yep.
We kind of sat on that one because we weren't sure if it was going through SRF or if it was going through ARPA. So now that it's in your court, of course, I'm now going to ask you to take a look at it tomorrow if you have time, just because it was kind of held in limbo while we figured out where the money was coming from, and we don't want to delay payment.
Right.
So pay application 13 is the one that just crossed, and if you remember, we told them we needed their pay app ASAP because we were worried about this February deadline that's now not going to be an issue. But it's highlighted because it's still in our review. We're going through the quantities, making sure what they're asking for is appropriate. Essentially, it's a pencil rack, and we're doing our job to make sure they're not, billing for work that hasn't been completed. But the rough value there is the 270. Then we have the change orders, which is summarized in the change order table. And then the last number I kind of wanted to point out is this balance, including retainage. This just means the contract price, what they're currently under contract to do, minus what they've been paid. So one of the things we're going to be doing this month when we review this Pay App 13 is see if we think there's going to be any unused bid items. I think it's very unlikely. It's a lump sum project. We didn't have any allowances. Nothing off the top of my head or Barry's head looked like scope we removed from the contract. So we think that number's pretty close, but it's not final. And then the other highlighted italicized item is SCADA. Barry's going to come down and try to bug you for a little bit this week and kind of go through the scope that you and Ben went over.
Yep.
So we can make sure that there's no double dipping on the work water line priced out to do here. And also to understand, the price that we got is higher than we would expect if they were just doing what Waterline is doing, but doing it there. So there's obviously more scope involved. So Barry wants to just kind of connect with you, make sure we understand what you were asking Ben to do that might be separate from the scope
Yes,
that we
but
wanted him to
there's
do.
Things in there so that we can see into the system.
Exactly.
We can't, we're blind now.
So we just, in order for us to make sure you're getting the right price from Ben,
Yeah.
we have to kind of understand a little bit the SCADA stuff you asked him to do that's outside our scope. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So Barry's just gonna try to borrow a little of your time
So
this
he
week.
got the proposal then.
Yeah, so if you look, the proposal we got was the 58,300. And that was for Ben to do the stuff we asked, I think, as well as the stuff you asked.
I forget what he wanted for, what water line.
So water line was 38.
38,000, yeah.
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 But again, there might be some overlap here, in which case we'll have to figure out whose scope we take it out of.
Yep.
I'm a little worried about getting a situation where we have two different hands in the same panel and then finger pointing if something doesn't work.
Who's got the warranty on it?
Yeah, so that's my concern. I'd rather the scope be clear cut, and so that's what Barry is going to get to the bottom of this week. So that SCADA number isn't in the total yet because I just don't know how much of that is going to be done. So at the end of the day, what that all means is that with the the ARPA funds covering the maximum they can, spending it on change orders first and then reducing the amount of loans second, it looks like we're essentially going to pay out 12 and 13 out of the SRF, all the change orders, and any potential SCADA work out of ARPA, and then that balance, including retainage, which means the work that BISCO hasn't completed or charged us for yet, is likely going to be split between SRF and ARPA. And our best guess right now is that 45,000 of that additional work will be SRF. So most of what we have left is going to be going to ARPA. That 44 goes up if we use some ARPA funds to pay for the SCADA upgrades. But in any case, we're still looking at this project being $600,000 under budget from the SRF loan we went after. So I know it's a lot of numbers. I'm happy to time out, pause if you guys have questions on any of them. But just to kind of summarize the big picture, I believe we have a good handle on how to spend the ARPA funds so we don't waste any and minimize the SRF. And we have kind of a game plan to do that. And when it all comes down, even with the change order work, and it was, added scope. It wasn't mistakes or errors. It was, adding the bag filter, adding the SCADA. Even with that additional scope, the project is still going to finish under budget by more than $500,000.
It sounds like one of the rooms.
Let me get it.
Oh, it's his office phone.
Well, the ratepayers would be glad to hear that.
Yep,
They'll
right,
come in
exactly.
about 15% under budget.
Well, and not having to
Yeah,
borrow as much.
right.
Yeah, so the principal on that loan is going to be less,
Yeah.
which means the debt service is less and the rate impact.
If we can carry that through to Sear Norman, Sear will be in great shape.
No.
15% of 14 million.
We don't have the ARPA to do that.
I know.
So I guess while we're on Manly, if there are no questions on the budget, I'll talk about progress and schedule. We're good to move? Okay. So long story short, we're kind of in the soft startup phase now at Manly where we're trying to make sure that all the work that's in there is working ahead of the representatives from the manufacturers coming in and doing our formal startup. So, Wayne is now back up and running after some, delays and some challenges. And we're just making sure that now that everything's put back together, it's operating the way we want. And then once we feel like functionally it's working, Taden Howard is going to come in and do kind of our soft startup where we're going to be doing some correlation of data. And then that's something that Derek and I will probably be talking to you with either the second half of this week or the first half of next week.
For the soft startup?
Yeah, for us to come in and, unfortunately use some of your time or one of your members' time to help us dial some things in. We're going to do some testing, take some data, and at the end of it, we'll have confidence that at a wide range of flows and residuals that the plant is operating and the performance is where we want. And it'll also give Wayne kind of a baseline so that if down the road he's like, I want to turn the plant down to 350 gallons per minute and carry a residual of 1, this data would give him a starting point. So instead of just guessing or scaling down from where he is, he can go to this startup sheet and see. It looks like the good starting point would be put the chlorine pump on this speed, this setting, and it should get us close enough that he's then just dialing it in.
And that'll get us down to the, 4 parts per trillion of the PFAS when we're all up and running. Is that?
So this,
zero?
yeah.
Or should be
So
zero?
yeah, I mean this particular process I'm talking about is green sand. So this is iron and manganese both below the MCL.
Okay.
And then we're trying to do all this now so that we're not doing this once the PFAS is up and running, because if we're tweaking settings and the residual goes too high, it's not a big deal right now because it's going out to waste. That's the other reason we want to kind of let Wayne know, like, this is your warning, right? So if you turn your pump up higher than this, you're at risk of exceeding 2.0 milligrams per liter, which we know is above the recommended chlorine level for the PFAS.
Going into the PFAS medium. We don't want to kill the PFAS medium.
Yeah. So then in 2 weeks, so the week of February 16th, that's when we're going to be doing kind of our real startup. So they're going to be representatives from Hungerford and Terry on site. They're the ones who are responsible for the Green Sand Plus process as a whole. So they're going to come in and essentially certify that the green sand process is ready to be put online and into the system. So we require the manufacturers to certify BISCO's work, so to speak. So it's a third party come in and say, we're responsible for the warranty, the performance guarantees. We're certifying that BISCO's work was done, it's complete, it's correct. And then on the same kind of idea, we have AdEdge coming in and doing the same thing for PFAS. Their work is a little bit more because they also have some media conditioning to do before we get to the performance testing and certifying, but it's the same idea. The third party manufacturer's rep is coming in and essentially certifying that the process is ready. So that is planned to happen that week.
Which week was that?
So that's the holiday week. So like 16th through the 20th, right?
Yeah.
What holiday are you coming up?
President's Day?
President's Day.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you if you guys are going to have a board meeting that night or not, but
It's Tuesday.
Tuesday.
it'll be Tuesday that week, okay. So we are going to be processing a change order that includes all of these PCOs we've talked about but haven't billed yet. So it's the bag filter, the chemical wiring, and the internals. We've technically never paid them for all of that work inside those vessels because they never finalized the PCO. So there'll be a change order probably in pay app 14 that officially adds all of those PCOs, and it's going to extend the contract to the end of March. But we anticipate that by the end of February we'll be down to just punch list items, and then the coordination of DEP required testing and compliance, and then ultimately their inspection.
Okay.
So any questions on Manly? So going back to Sear Norman, again, I don't have a new pay app or a new invoice, so the funding breakdown didn't change, but I did want to bring it back because last time I came, it didn't print correctly and you were missing the change order section. So I reprinted it correctly so we can kind of just do a project update, then circle back to those PCOs if we want to have any more conversation on those. But progress-wise, the mud mat was originally planned for the middle to end of this week. That's now being poured next week as a result, I think, of the weather and the cold temperatures. And we have the geotech engineer coming out Wednesday this week. And hopefully they're going to say that the subgrade is acceptable, that the heaters have done their job, and that the mud mat can be poured. If it's not ready, then they won't be allowed to pour the mud mat until the geotech will sign off on the subsurface conditions. So, and again, that's somebody who we hired as opposed to somebody that the contractor hires, again, just to have that third party presence, independent testing. And then at some point, I don't have the new date yet, we'll be doing the compaction testing, and they'll come, that's a third party agency that's hired by the contractor who has to come out and essentially do their own independent test, separate from our geotech. And that's another level of kind of quality control, that the soils were compacted enough so that you're not going to have settlement.
And they're not coming out until after your geotech.
Right.
So it says the subgrade's okay.
Yeah. Yep. And then hopefully that means next week they're pouring that mud mat, and we'll kind of be back on schedule to have more continuous work happening on site. One thing that I think came up that I think Art was involved in, but the rest of the board probably wouldn't know yet. We had some, I guess, conflicts with columns of the pre-engineered metal building. So we kind of spent a lot of time last week coming up with the best end product. And long story short, there's one column that had moved 10 inches, but now was in conflict with the CMU wall. And in order to rectify it, we either could make the metal building manufacturer start over, which would have cost us months of project time, or we allow them to do a modification to that design in the field, which we recommended against. We wanted, before anybody put any building on the ground, we wanted stamped final drawings, not find out in the field that this was going to work or not. And then the third option was we rework the CMU walls to work with the column they had. So our stipulation to them was, you may move the CMU wall out, which makes our electrical room narrower, front north to south, but in order to fit all of the electrical stuff in, we had to make that room wider east to west to make up for it. So we told them that that would be acceptable, provided that there was no additional cost to the water department, that they're on the hook for any other ramifications that come from moving those CMU walls. And then because that wall's moving, that storage closet is now being split between the mechanical room and the electrical room, as opposed to being its own closet. So they're going to be responsible for giving an equal amount of storage elsewhere. So we're going to have some storage by the garage doors on the east side of the building, as well as they're gonna be reworking the mezzanine level to kind of combine some of the plumbing and HVAC to fit tighter together to open up space in the mezzanine. So there's additional storage up there for low weight items or items that will seldom or never be used. And then the heavier items that you don't want to go up and down the stairs will go kind of on the main level. So, we kind of had a call with our structural engineer, call with the contractor, call with Art, and kind of all figured out what was the best path forward. And that's the option that we're going with. So the result is we're going to be issuing a work change directive that essentially mandates what they need to do to satisfy the structural engineer, us, and then again reiterate that there'll be no more cost to you, and then no loss of functionality to the ultimate plan. So that was kind of the big thing that happened on the project last week. But in doing that, it allows us to release the rest of the rebar and all of the other items that were kind of causing the project to kind of go stagnant. Well, the contractor figured out how they were going to perform. So once, I think now that we've given them a solution to move forward, that all parties agree with, we should be able to get the rebar released, and then following the mud mat, it'll probably be 3-ish weeks for the rebar to come in, and then they'll start, in the next phase of construction with the rest of the foundation pour.
Jim, if I may, can you just give the audience a quick summary why we didn't go with the original building that was spec'd out and designed by you guys?
So essentially, when we specify the building, we say it's based on this building. The contractor shall use this building or equal.
Right.
In Massachusetts, if the product is equal, we have to allow it. In terms of the strength of the members and all of the components that we compare it against, the building we're getting is equal. It's a good quality product. So we had approved the building as a whole as being equal to the one we manufactured. But then when we got the structural components, we noticed that conflict. And
So it's not equal.
So
Essentially, it's not equal.
it's equal in terms of quality of product, but it was not equal in terms of layout.
So it's not equal. It either is or it isn't. So it's not equal to the original design.
So we could have made them rework it, but there was, in our opinion, no meaningful benefit to delaying the
It's delayed the
project
job.
to do that.
This has delayed the job 2 months.
Yeah.
And that's not no fault of ours. This has delayed the job a couple of months, safe to say a couple of months, because of the original design. They went with an equal. Not what we spec'd out, what we paid for.
Yeah, they did note that.
So there better not be any change orders for this building.
So we did make that clear that there'll be no.
There will be none.
Yeah. They also did note that the building manufacturer we designed around did not bid on the project. We're not sure the circumstances of that. We haven't followed up with them to ask them why or why
Say that
not.
again?
The building manufacturer that we,
Proposed
based
to
the
you.
spec around did not submit a price to Waterline for this project. Waterline only got 2 calls back from building manufacturers who wanted to price up this project. So I don't know whether they just didn't reach out, but the building manufacturer we used knew the project was out on the street, and typically they will request a plan holders list and
Of course.
offer up proposals to everyone on it. So I don't know if they just couldn't meet the construction schedule because they have a backlog, without calling them and finding out, I don't really know the answer to that. But on our call, Waterline did say, we're not going with this metal building because we don't want to use the one you spec'd. It's just they weren't one of the ones who bid the project. Not that that matters to you, but it's just kind of an FYI.
Well, it does matter to us, because we're all ratepayers here as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you spec'd out a building, and all the bidders bid on that particular building. Then they come in and they give us an equal. the equal somewhat qualifies it as an equal, but then it isn't an equal because it doesn't fit our design or whatever the case may be. And now we have to suffer the consequences. We've got things like this that we have to deal with. More time involved with you, more time involved with our guys, and we don't even have a mud footing or whatever we call it out of the ground yet. I'm waiting to see what the requisition is for this month.
Yeah, I mean, we have pencil rec that we're kind of going back and forth with them right now.
Good. I'm
But
glad it's pencil. Because there's an eraser on a pencil.
there is.
There's already been some things erased.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we got some stuff, Art pushed back on some stuff, so, you know, it's being worked on, but for the next board meeting, you'll have one.
I hope so.
Did the manufacturer give you a spec for that building?
Yeah.
The first guy?
So, the one we designed around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you make it or equal if no one's answering on the building side?
I mean, it's really hard in Massachusetts with the way you have to bid these projects, right? Like we talked about with the valves last time, we did everything right, but if the Attorney General decides that,
Let's not worry about the Attorney General. She's got enough problems suing Trump and worrying about the MBK community
All
yard
right,
and everything
enough.
else. The thing is that we wanted a building design, we wanted it to fit right here. We
Yeah.
wanted the building, we wanted a mechanical room here, we wanted toilet rooms here. It doesn't fit according to our plan now. So it isn't an equal. It isn't an equal. You can paint it whatever color you want, it's not an equal.
It ain't unequal enough that you could throw them.
I
out
disagree,
on the basis
Mr.
of-
Chairman. I disagree.
You can disagree all you want. If we tried to throw out that, the building manufacturer manufactures an equal building, we could fight them on the location of the columns and tell them they have to change the design of the building, which is gonna cost us months to make it work, or we don't.
Costs us money?
Well, it costs
Months.
us time, because they'd have to go back, redesign it, then come back, and then now we've already had a delay with the additional stuff because of that them doing the column roads because they were slow with it. But whether or not we move part of a closet to make it continue to move on, if there's no, as long as there's no cost to the water department for it, you know, a metal building's a metal building in a lot of ways, and as long as it meets all the spec requirements for the materials and everything else, it's awful hard, if not impossible, to say, no, you can't use that one.
Right.
Because they could they should have submitted it with the columns where the columns were shown. But unfortunately, you don't see that until the submittals come in.
right. So, yeah, so that one will not be a change order, but it is, like we said, a work change directive, mostly to organize any items that need to change for us to agree that the end product is acceptable. So that'll be something that you'll be seeing, Art, is a work change directive. The other thing I owe you is a formal response rejecting the valve change order. So based on our conversation last time, you know, we all agree that Waterline is not, you know, owed any money for those valves. But I want you to review the formal response because technically it is the, you know, the water department responding as opposed to Tate & Howard. So I don't want to be putting words in your mouth, so to speak. So that was something I was working on until we got derailed with the metal building thing last week. So it's on the top of my list to get to you.
Okay.
Which I guess kind of segues into some of the other ones. SCADA, we already talked about. We're not approving the 38, so we understand if there's overlap with the work the other integrator's doing. The installation one, I printed out the detail I was poorly trying to describe last meeting. I just kind of wanted to show you what I was trying to describe. I think I misspoke last time and implied that the error was on the exterior of the wall, but it's actually on the interior of the wall. But if you look at the last page I gave you in your packet, you can see the overhang that I was trying to describe. So where we have, there's a couple different hatches. So the hatch that's vertical here that just kind of looks like a grid,
Yeah,
that represents the insulation.
yeah.
And then this shaded area is the concrete. And as you can see, we have this taper of the insulation. And originally the taper happened right at the top.
Yeah.
So what the what the PCO would do is essentially taper further down, so you just have a little bit more concrete at that point, and that's what we were saying. It would be potentially less susceptible to chipping. So that was, I just wanted to kind of close the loop on that. I think last time we were talking, we were leaning towards, not moving forward with that change order. But I did want to just bring the figure, make sure I was showing you more clearly, what the change is.
So instead of it being there as designed, it goes up, the concrete ends against it, and you get the fillet going up in the insulation.
Yeah, so essentially, instead of having this come to a point,
Yeah.
you have a little bit more concrete. But then you do that for the entire perimeter of that concrete pour. And that ended up being $4,400.
Jim, why can't they just eliminate it below the slab, the insulation, so you're missing 4 inches of insulation? I mean, are we gonna miss, is our
Make
ever,
it more expensive, not less.
because it'd be filling in the gap of this
Yeah.
concrete?
Yeah, now you're filling.
The concrete's more expensive than the insulation.
Than $4,000 than it is to trim it?
No, the $4,000 is for that little wedge of concrete, all the way around.
And your design didn't have that, is that it? Or it just had,
So,
it said
yeah,
grouter compressible, fill a 1/2 inch thick?
Who recommended this? Was this your architect or was it Waterline?
So Waterline said, in our experience, that could be prone to chipping. And we forwarded to the structural engineer and said, the design as done, we've done, multiple places, but their comment of it being that it would potentially be more robust is true. And so then the structural engineers came up with this design and said, if the water department's worried about the chipping, this sketch is what we would recommend they do. And then this sketch is what Waterline took and gave us an estimate of $4,400 to construct.
I'm sorry, so
Yeah.
I must be missing something here. So this is the design for the $4,400 change order. How was the original design laid out? Is it just like they leave a gap between the concrete floor and the foundation, they grout it, is that what that?
So this wasn't there, right? So this insulation came
All the way up to the finish,
to here.
to the top of the
So it
foundation?
was still angled like this. So essentially this shape here is what we're adding.
And how was it before? It was just, this wasn't,
Yeah,
so
it was
just,
above the
this was
top of the
added?
slab.
Yeah, this line wouldn't have been there,
Oh,
and then.
Is that because we got a different building?
No.
No, it's unreal. I think in our opinion, we would have preferred the structural engineer to design it this way in the first place. But they tell us that they design it this way other places, and that they've never heard of an issue, but they acknowledge that this would technically be a more robust.
who's gonna walk right next to the foundation wall?
I mean, we're wasting more time than we need to on it.
Right.
It makes no sense to do this change order. Just
Correct.
leave it the way it was designed.
I agree.
Yeah, I think
You're gonna have a
the
little
design
bit-
works as is.
Yeah, that's,
Just don't drop your pump right on the wall. On the edge.
you'll damage
Or
the
you'll,
wall.
or you'll be,
Right.
Yeah.
or you'll be patching
Yeah.
a crack in their concrete.
Is
Yeah.
this it right here, just a little
That
bit
little chip is what's added.
Yeah, because before the insulation came up to the top of the concrete,
up to here?
and then had the little fillet back going off to the
This?
wall. Yeah, so now they're bringing it under the concrete, so, but now you're gonna have this little, basically, piece of concrete at the edge that goes to no thickness at all. And probably if you drop your pump on that, you're gonna crack the concrete at the
Exactly,
edge.
you're gonna hit the wall.
So that's my opinion, I'm not making the decision for you guys, but I say we
I agree.
don't do that change order.
I agree.
Mark? Agree or?
I'm trying to grasp this. So is it more concrete?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
more
exactly.
it's that concrete triangle.
How big is this thing?
Not very big,
Yeah,
it's
right.
$4,400 worth
It's
around the
essentially-
whole building.
What's the perimeter of the building times $100 a yard?
Yeah, but is that like a 1-inch diamond?
I think it's, yeah,
Yeah,
3
probably.
inches.
That
by
shit would
3
fit in a wheelbarrow. I'm against it.
Good, we agree. Make a motion.
I make a motion,
We do not
we're
accept
against
change order 3,
Alright.
PCO 3.
language.
Yeah, watch HBO.
This ain't HBO. All right, we have a motion on the floor not to accept proposed change order 3 for the arch insulation. Do I have a second so we can move this along?
Second.
Thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
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 So then the last item is the service line credit. As you recall, the PCO essentially is a credit to go from copper to plastic. I believe last time there were two kind of questions on the table. One was, was the credit the right amount? And so, the backup is for essentially what the cost of copper was at the time of the bid versus what the price of plastic is today. And, per Mass General Law, that's the value of the change order. I know there was concern that, if we made them stick with copper, it's probably going to cost them more money. And then there were also questions about why, we require copper in other instances, but we would be okay with going to plastic here today. So I guess just to kind of sum up again our position on, the quality of the end product, we do think plastic would be okay in this application because if there was it doesn't daylight, so this is all below ground. And then also it's all contained on site as part of your process piping. It's not strictly a water service the way customers are served out on the street. It's significantly longer runs because it's serving the treatment plant, so to speak. So we do think there is a distinction between the requirement and this application. That being said, we don't have an opinion one way or another whether that whether politically or otherwise, how you guys feel about that. But from a technical standpoint, we feel comfortable that the plastic product would be okay in terms of performance. And then in terms of cost, I think that one's a little bit trickier because I think you're right, John, that if copper has gone up since the time of the bid, the contractor is going to benefit. The benefit to the contractor might be greater than the credit to the town for it, but at the end of the day, if you stick with the copper, it doesn't generate a credit. So, on principle, I could understand maybe the motivation to feel like it's, you want a higher credit, but their only credit you're going to get is the bid price versus what it's going to actually cost to put plastic in.
Shannon, so the price of copper is about $23 a foot, the price of plastic's about $3. So we're talking about $22 a foot, and we're talking like 2,200 square feet, give or take.
Mm.
So that's like, what, $26,000?
Yeah.
And they're gonna give us, and they're
They're giving
saying,
us- So that the credit that we reviewed was $36,700.
but obviously the labor to install copper is a lot more substantial than it is to
We do think there's
plastic.
we do think there is a labor difference for sure.
I don't have a problem with a credit, I just think that we're entitled to more.
How much were they how much you gonna give us
They're offering $36,700.
back?
Yeah.
I think it's worth more than that, of a credit. That's my opinion, I'm just,
Do we have pricing at the time? Because it's the price of the copper at the time of the bid, it's not the price of the copper
Yeah.
now.
it's not the price of, so when they bid on this building for $14 million, if it goes up 10% in the cost of the year to construct it, we're liable for another $1.4 million.
No,
Is that how-
so that's their
So
right.
They own
They
it.
are.
So
They own
copper is more
But they
expensive
own it
today.
Correct.
Then they have to eat the difference. They can't come ask you for more money because copper is more expensive now than when they bid it. That's the,
I think we're entitled more of a credit. That's honestly, I mean, I deal with copper from my trade, so I think we're entitled more than a credit.
Or how about we accept it and they give us the valves we want?
No, I'm not that full, we're not even there yet. Because I'm not gonna take those valves.
No, what he said was acceptable.
No, I know, I don't, I mean, we're already getting,
Do we have the number?
yeah.
But
What-
isn't it,
in what-
If you haven't seen it, we can send it to you.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing the number. Do we have the number that says what, not what the value was then, or rather now, the
Right.
22 a foot, what the value of the copper is
Yeah.
for the bid, so we can take a look, see how much of that is there, how much of that is their labor.
Oh, we have it broken down.
Okay.
Hours, hourly rate for the labor, then we have the unit price if they're saying copper was at the time of the bid, unit.
that's
price.
irrelevant.
That's not
I mean,
relevant. by
from
the
a
way.
master law standpoint,
Bidding
that
process
is the
works.
correct calculation. So,
Okay,
We can ask for more,
I am,
but that doesn't mean that, but that's what we're entitled to
Okay.
for the change.
all right.
But
I don't-
before we go too much further on it, because of the way the thing went, we in agreement that it's, assuming it's a large, we can agree on the credit, we're all right with going from copper to plastic for this plant piping.
I don't have a problem, as long as you don't think it's gonna be a problem with us later on, Wayne. You're the
I don't think
superintendent.
it'll be a problem.
Okay, I don't have a problem with the credit.
All right?
okay, so then we'll make sure you have
So
the
we, so we
number.
just need to get into the details on what the, on the credit.
As long as they copper trace wire that, just in
Yeah,
case.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
they gotta put everything the way the water superintendent wants it, right?
Yeah. So out of those four, we have one that we're not, SCADA that we're not actually finalizing yet
Just
because
because
of
they don't
that.
have the full picture.
We're
But at
reject-
least,
we
at least
rejected
you've got
them
it.
on two, and we want the pipe,
Yeah,
the
we're gonna
valves,
reject 3.
and we're gonna reject.
4, we're open to provided the credit's the appropriate amount.
Yep.
And then,
where did we stand with the valves? Did we vote on that?
Hmm?
What did we say about the valve?
We're not going, we are not accepting
Okay.
the alternate valve, they gotta provide it, and we'll argue
Yep.
about it later.
How big is that building?
150 by something.
yeah,
I saw it finally come through on something the other day.
yeah.
Cameraman?
By 50
That-
something.
Should we ask the cameraman?
I don't know if he knows, I'll take it, I'll take these.
Somewhat. The plans there.
Yeah.
No, that's Manley.
No, that's,
This is Sear.
I pulled this one up, isn't it?
Oh, no, that's Manley.
Oh, that's the Sear one. Is that the final one, or is it?
I don't know, but the building, well, it's
Yeah,
after
the
the
building's-
building tank, there it is. I'm gonna-
57 by 115.
I'm sorry, what was that?
57 feet by 115. Calculator? I don't do math in my head anymore, it's too dangerous,
Wow,
especially when you're dealing with numbers.
right. How much is it, Mark? I'm just asking Mark, he's doing that.
Oh.
He's taking his shoes off to figure it out.
I thought the building was on fire. All right.
Let's see one more.
So they think they're gonna be doing mud mat next week then?
Next week, yeah.
If everything else passes.
Yeah, if the geotech says that they're good to move forward. And then the compaction and moisture tests come back
Yeah.
acceptable. And then the only other thing I had is that, I think you already clarified that the meeting that week will be on the Tuesday, because President's Day is
Yes.
Monday. I will be out
And now,
of the country that week, so I think Jenna will
And
probably
Katie.
cover that meeting.
yeah,
Make sure they wear their flak vests.
So you guys can save it for when I come back if you'd like.
nah.
You can give them the softballs and save the fastballs for when I get back.
I think they can take it.
Did we go over the winch?
We don't have a number for it yet.
Thank you.
Yeah.
TBD.
I didn't know if we were gonna TBD it and quickly discuss it or not, but.
I mean, when we have a number on it, then I'll come back and revisit it.
Plus you got a number wrong, it should be PCO number 5.
Yeah, I saw that. I scribbled a note to fix it.
Actually, now we're two, we're getting rid of 2 of them, so one, then 4 will have to.
Ah, there you go. Okay, all right.
All right.
That's all I have, unless you guys have anything else for me.
Don't think so. There was a thing going about payment number 3. Eric got lost in the mail,
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
apparently.
So we don't have a payment to look at this week?
No, this is one we already approved to pay in January.
Oh, the
and the check-
900,000 one?
The check went out, and they never got it.
Right.
And they've already gotten the last one that we just did.
Okay.
So they're gonna issue another check out of town hall.
So yeah, so
They'll have
that's
that.
3 and 4, and then 5 is the one that we
5
had
is the
back
next
and
one
forth.
coming in, and we'll see what comes up for that.
Yeah, so that one's not gonna be in front of you until next.
They haven't
meeting,
gotten
'cause-
back to you with anything since the
Uh,
comments?
No, they just have essentially, stated that as of the end of last week, they were 50% done with the mud mat.
But they haven't given that back with the other things taken out of it, though? I haven't seen it.
Oh,
I
yes.
haven't seen a revised app.
So we got it with everything else addressed. So if you haven't seen that yet, I'll make sure we get that to you tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Jim, where do we stand year to date on how much we've paid? Do you have a rough number? $1 million, $1.5 million, $2 million?
I think we're under $1 million.
So,
One was 5 something, one was, I can pull it up.
yeah.
No, that's all right, that's
If
okay.
it's mission critical, I'll have
Let's see.
No, it's not mission critical. Just curiosity.
So it was 1.1. So through pay app
Including
4. Yeah.
it. Yeah. that's-
Through pay app 4. So all the checks have been cut. It was 1.1.
Yeah, 4 actually went out Friday, they got
Did
it
it?
today.
I somehow lose track of these, I'm not, like, I don't know.
Of the pay apps?
Yeah.
Well, if there's something we can do better,
You know,
I mean, I see.
let
them,
us
but
know.
well,
It's
Janen's
like
gonna
I'm
be,
more disconnected now because it goes through town hall instead of
Yeah.
through us.
Well, lucky for you, Jan harasses him and not you.
Yeah.
and I figure rather than pulling you into it, I'll just contact Scott directly.
Yeah.
I figure you don't mind.
No, I don't mind.
That's already been done and signed off on everything anyway by that. So you don't need to be, and then if they do, then all of a sudden he'll be over here when they're over on site more harassing you
Yeah.
instead.
It's okay, I haven't been here lately. You'd have to stand outside in the cold. Wish I could be at Dunkin' Donuts.
I wish I had a government job.
Don't stop with
All right, let's. Do you have any other questions for James?
No, I'm good, thank you, James.
You got it.
Mark, do you have any questions for James? Oh, you were still running some numbers.
It's 6,555 square feet.
I think he's trying to figure something out. So do you have any questions while?
I don't have
while
any
he's
questions,
ciphering?
no. I know they're up there working, I hear them in the morning, because they started before we get here.
I don't get nothing.
Okay.
Well, thanks for your time.
Yep.
Good luck on your vacation.
Yeah, thanks. I'm sure I'll pay for it.
No,
Not here you won't.
not till you get back.
Maybe that slab will be poured.
Okay. Hope so.
You and me both.
Right.
When we start hitting with liquidated
We don't
damages
wanna-
if there isn't done?
We don't wanna send Carrie after you. Pitbull.
Oh.
All right. Have a good night.
You too, thank you.
Okay, moving along. Kerry, the ZBA one's supposed to be off the agenda now.
I know, it's the wrong, actually the wrong. That agenda's,
I don't see
Oh.
ZBA on this one.
Oh, that's what. She gave me the wrong one to make a fool out of me. What else is, actually, good, let me see,
You're the
let me see
chairman.
this one.
I got proprietary notes on there.
Okay, no, because now I'm missing things here. How did I get that one?
I have no idea.
This
I have
week?
February up, everybody.
All right, well, I'll share with John. Next item of new business, 77 Pleasant Street water bill.
Yeah.
You want to explain that?
Sure will.
Leave names out of it, just what's
Yeah, yeah,
going
yeah.
on and
Where are we?
I emailed you guys on
Agenda.
77
What paper?
your agenda paper.
February.
You might not have papers on.
Got
You
it.
got the old one too.
I think we have emails on it.
Yeah, I didn't get
We
one.
both have the old ones. John's the only one with the real one.
I read my email.
You can be chairman.
I print my
Oh,
emails.
you printed
No,
that?
Kerry, I print them.
Kerry, what are you doing?
They're all, I did print them all out, I promise I did. But I will explain 77 Pleasant Street. I emailed you guys, I don't know if it was last week maybe, back in December of 2022, we got a call from the owners that they were selling their property, and we scheduled a final reading date. So when we do that, what happens is we go out, they do the final reading, and then they bring it back to us. When they bring it back to us, we do the final reading, and at that time, we put it in the new owner's name. So that's what we did, because that's what was supposedly happening. So then, we got a phone call probably in the summertime, from the owner of 65 and 67 Pleasant Street. They were supposed to purchase 77 Pleasant Street back in December. They never bought it. But because we were never notified that they bought it and it was already in their name. So for 3 years, they were paying a bill that they didn't even own. The property was finally purchased, but not until June of this last year. So the people
Not
that.
purchased by those people.
Different people. So the people that were paying, that never bought it, rightfully so, are looking for their payments back, which total $676.55. After
That
a
was my
lot of,
budget.
Yeah, after a lot of research and stuff, I called the original owner and spoke with the wife, who told me that it never went through, and she was pretty upset, and because it's been 3 years, and it was her husband's deal, not hers. I'm not really sure what the situation is, but the husband passed. So she doesn't feel like she owes the money. So we're in a situation where someone's owed money, and how do we collect that money to give it to them?
But she doesn't own the house. The house eventually sold to somebody
To
else.
somebody else.
So we can't lien it now either to get it.
How much is it?
$676.
Yeah, they put, the new guy put a municipal lien certificate on it, so it's clear, so it doesn't show that they owe any money to us, so it's pretty
Exactly.
much.
And that, I mean,
Because
not
we didn't know
3
they-
years worth, but that does happen, like, somebody will
I can
call
see
in and
that.
say, we're selling the property,
Yeah.
and then it falls through, but we already put it in their name,
Yep.
and
And we don't know that
we
it
don't know
canceled.
that.
No, I get it, that could happen, that could happen more often than this.
Right,
Maybe we ought to.
Why wouldn't you put it in when the new owner comes?
so
Because
we
you need an
require-
MCL when you, an
Yeah.
MLC,
Huh?
when you need an MLC to pass the papers, the municipal lien certificate.
The way we do.
Yeah, but you,
I get what you're saying, I can see both sides.
So some people will get a bill, they'll see it's addressed to the address, but their name's not on it, into the trash. They don't pay the bill. So that's why we changed the name,
yeah, but,
and it's happened.
so who was paying, who was
The
using
person
the,
who was supposed to buy the property was paying the bill because
Right.
they just were paying bills that came in. They didn't
Really,
know they were paying the
Right.
bill.
If you noticed, you should have noticed this 3.5 years
They
ago.
own a few pieces of property, so.
yeah, right next door, they also own 65 and 67.
But regardless, we owe them the money that they
Yes.
paid. But did we figure out how we can even pay it?
I mean, it would come out of,
It would just come out of it like you do an abatement or
Yeah.
whatever.
I don't know what that's called, like what fund that is or anything.
I
Or
don't know where
would
those
it actually be
I
an
don't know where
abatement
those
to
come.
them? Because it's the
It'll be a
bill was for
refund
the
to
property.
them,
It'll
it'll be a
be-
refund to
Okay.
them, yeah.
Yeah, those come out of, I don't know where those come out of.
Can you give
We
them
don't
credit?
have a line item.
on something else?
They don't own it anymore.
I thought you said they own a bunch of property.
But they pay, so they have a zero balance on the other properties they own. They don't want the credit, they want the money.
I mean, we don't have much choice. We
Correct.
owe them the money.
It's whether or not you wanna somehow try and get it from the original owner.
The other one, you'd probably have to hire Game Day to go after it.
Yeah, for
It's
$675,
not worth it.
just write a check.
I just want to let you guys know,
Yeah.
like, figure out how to do it. I just didn't,
Just don't do that again.
it happens all the time,
Yeah.
actually.
I make a motion that we
Pay.
repay the, whatever the difference in the balances or whatever the money.
Okay.
As a refund for the next meeting. Second?
Second,
Thank you. All in favor?
Unanimous.
sorry,
All right.
I wasn't quick enough.
Kidding.
Kerry, you have anything else?
Nothing.
I'm sorry. Can I look at your agenda, please, since I wasn't given one?
Can we get a new agenda?
Yes.
2027 budget, which I believe is this.
So I gave you a copy. It's a little different, it's down from the previous one.
The previous one we had from last
The
meeting.
last
not
one I
last
showed
meeting.
you, yes, but it only went down a small amount. There's no place for me to nickel and dime large amounts.
Like 46,717,000.
No, we don't own that.
No, from that meeting approved, I'm just looking at the numbers that we
Okay.
approved to borrow.
So overall, the budget is up 334,147 over the previous year, but 109,565 is a one-time expense. I don't know if I can ask David if we could put an
Let's
article
see,
out
one-time expense for?
so one is a sick time buyback and one is to cover
Oh, that's right.
overlap of a new superintendent.
Yep. Did we get free cash certified yet?
So that's gonna hang up my capital, so I can guesstimate, I'm not sure if I gave you copies of the commitment. So I can guesstimate that we might have taken in 342,850 in free cash, because that's what we commit out to take in. But it doesn't always work that way, but we should have taken in that amount. And then we also have taken in 621,461.97 from the lawsuit that the town
3M,
did
that's
for
the
the
other.
PFAS, yeah. So we should have almost $1 million in free cash, but only because you have to worry about taking in enough revenue to cover. If we took in the 342,850, then the budget is good, the rates are holding.
Yeah.
And it'll be a wash.
And we can't count the 621.
And you can't
on
count
the
that
PFAS
against
against
that.
that's extra money.
Right.
Is that our money or does that go to the general fund?
Well, it goes into the general fund till we move it around, so you can't allow money to sit that long before you appropriate it somewhere, or you have to return it to the ratepayer.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have a lot of
Thank you.
projects,
Yeah.
it's going places. So, I still have time before I have to submit capital. I know it's no fault of the towns what happened, that they're behind on certifying the free cash, but I know they're working through it now, so hopefully I have it in time. Some money will get moved towards the meter program, because that program it's happening, and I need funds to spend on it. And then the rest we'll decide whether we fund the meter program in full, because you really don't want to be borrowing any more money. We were just paying off our debt, and now we're buried again. So. it's
Yeah,
not a
we
good
wouldn't have,
situation.
like this next one coming up, when we get to town meeting, we shouldn't have any borrowing articles, should we?
No, we should not have any borrowing articles. It should just be all transferring cash.
Yep.
So the other thing would be to look at Manly whether, and when you ask me about it, then I'll explain that, and we'll have to make a determination whether you go after it to change it, or you ride it out and wait for it to fail.
Okay, we'll get to that after we finish the year. So the budget is basically, this is what's going in.
This is what's winning, yes.
And what do we have for capital projects that you wanted to?
I mean, we're parking our vehicles outside now, so we really need either an addition or another metal building to park our equipment in. We don't have enough space anymore, we outgrew it. And we've tried the shell game of hiding stuff in different places, but then you're chasing things all over the place trying to get stuff up. We don't have enough space anymore. I don't know that doesn't have to happen this year, but at this point, during the summertime, when we get to the warmer weather, we'll be parking 2 vehicles up at Town Hall or up at the DPW because we don't.
They're outside and there's some
Right, we don't
security.
want, we want them
Yeah.
secure.
Right.
But at some point, maybe we just go out to a metal building manufacturer and say, you know, multiple ones, so we cover our thing. Give us a building intact, done. And, you know, give us prices on it so we avoid engineering costs.
Yeah, it'll probably be too big to be able to do that, too much money.
All right.
Not to be a stickler, but then again, you'd need electrical.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
yeah,
then
no,
you
it's
can,
all that
you
stuff.
can
is
go
all
up and
that, okay.
grab 3 electrical contractors and have them bid.
Bathrooms and things like that.
Well, it's just a metal building that would literally be right across the road here.
Less than 400 feet away?
We'll take a tape measure, it'll be less than 400
Okay,
feet.
less
We'll
than
make
400 feet.
sure,
Yep.
or we'll build an overhead bridge to it. But that's
Home
the
Depot
only,
bucket.
yeah, that's the only other thing that we really need outside of, because we've just outgrown our space.
Yeah, well, that's gonna be a
Like, what are we
problem.
gonna put in there?
So currently, we have to park the new dump truck outside, and we have to park my van outside.
I hate to tell you,
Oh, I know.
my cars are outside too.
I know that, but they last longer when they're inside. The problem is, so the big dump truck doesn't fit into our garage without folding in the mirrors. So the idea would be to build a garage with doors that actually fit the damn dump truck in there without folding in the mirrors, because you become blind for like 10 feet when you're
Don't.
backing in.
Don't forget to turn in the mirrors.
Trust me.
No, it
You
doesn't
don't,
work.
because they hook right away, trust me.
I've done that in my own garage.
I'm against that, so we're gonna vote on that.
Well,
No,
We're
that's-
not voting,
that's-
it's just
that's-
discussing, is
That's just to get it out there.
because it's under the Capitol, it's not.
no, we
That's $1
One of
million
those-
bucks.
get one of those domes,
Yeah.
like you have the salt shed up at the DPW and
And we can do that, like, there's all sorts of options, it doesn't have to
Those are
happen
cheap.
now, we can park the vehicles up at the DPW.
I built one for 500,000.
fabric.
Yep, for Winchester. You gotta do all the pavilion way, you gotta do all.
Oh, no, that's part of the problem. Anything
Yeah.
you do is, the guys can't put it up themselves,
Right.
so. But that's the only thing capital you're really thinking of.
Yeah,
going
that's the only
forward
thing
for
that
the
I-
next couple of years, maybe.
Yeah, we've done most everything else we can do around here ourselves.
Okay.
All right.
Here you go.
No, I got,
You got superintendent's description now?
well, I'm not even going to that yet.
Oh.
Where are we now?
Well, I was gonna stay on new business
Okay.
stuff because
Okay.
Wayne had some other stuff that we've talked to us about new business, since it just happened.
What this is?
Maybe if we get a new building, you can get shovels,
This is the.
Oh, jeez.
right? You know what kind you want? You want plastic?
I've shoveled enough at my house, I'm not sure.
You wanna go over this, Wayne?
All right, so we'll go over the Manley Street pictures.
This just happened.
Yeah. And because it's Manley is actually on this thing anyway, so we can talk about it. But you can see in the first picture, you don't see any electrical, you don't see any instrumentation. You flip the page, you see that broken electrical, and you see the tossed to the side instrument cable that's been ripped through. Because we had no idea it was there. Nobody should have ran that across the pipe. If you look in like the third picture, you'll see the holes on the pitless adapter. So we got into the thing and we did try to put a wrapper.
This is the leak that started it when the instrumentation guy.
Yeah, when they blew it apart.
blew it up. Yeah,
But it,
over pop pressured it.
right, and it could have just been one, so when we tried to put a wraparound on it, there was enough space to get it in there, which seals to the pipe. We couldn't get it to seal because the pitless adapter is pitted. So what we did do is we put a tapping saddle on it, right over the hole directly, and then sealed it up, and it worked.
You got a picture of that?
No, you don't have a picture of the tapping saddle
Did
because,
you put a corporation on it?
yeah, we did put a corporation on it.
Okay.
So there's a piece of pipe that comes out of the pitless adapter and then there's a.
Yeah, so it comes out, I don't have a
But
picture of
that's
you,
actually
but
a part of.
it
the
literally,
adapter.
it looks like that,
Yeah, yeah.
and this piece here that sticks
That
out
nipple?
had the hole in it.
What kind of, wasn't it
It's
like,
stainless, but it has a hole in it.
is that from like,
It's pitted
electrolysis or something?
too. Yeah, I don't know, it's pitted also. So,
Electrolysis.
Well,
Why did you
if they
break the
ran that
pipe?
the electrical
What was that?
instrumentation
Why'd
lines
you
right
break the
over it.
electric pipe?
because it was right
Maybe.
top, we had no idea it existed there. and it
Don't it
was,
stick out of the ground?
no,
No,
it's
it's-
not, it's 3 feet under the ground. It might be almost actually 4 feet under the ground. So we thought we were free and clear as we're digging
Isn't
away,
it
there's
right there?
nothing.
Isn't this it?
Yeah, that's off the electric box.
But that's
But it-
off to the side of the pipe.
Yes, and by looking at that above the ground, it looked like it was running up the other side of the thing, not running diagonally across our pipe.
Right, that's how you would think.
And the instrument cable did the same thing, it ran diagonally right across the pipe also.
When was this installed, Wayne?
So this was probably installed back in the early or late 70s.
Wow.
That's the original adapter. We've never
Yes.
replaced, for the work we've done on the well.
Right, we've
replaced
never
those.
gone back in to replace it.
So that pitless adapter's been leaking for a while, that's
No,
the reason of your change?
whatever, whether it was a weak spot and just popped out, but it was a perfectly good cylindrical hole. And the well is artesian to the ground,
Yeah. it's grounded.
so we couldn't really look at it, we were fighting with heightened intrusion of other groundwater, and then we had the well pouring out at us.
When this happened?
So this happened last Thursday?
Yeah, I
No,
think
that's
Thursday.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then during the cold weather, we went out there and we worked at it. We dug it up and fixed it, and then we set a base for the electricians to come in. When we hit the electrical, we actually broke 2 conductors, so we replaced all 4 conductors while we were in there.
Wayne, this picture right here with that water pissing out of that hole, is that?
That's the hole,
That's
yeah.
the hole.
Camera, microphone.
You can say that on TV.
No, you can't. Not on West Bridgewater TV. But that, you got that tight, and
Yeah.
then nothing else sprung a new leak.
Nothing else sprung a new leak. We've been watching it, and nothing's moving down there, and we have back pressure against it now, so if I feel it's a good leak, it could last a year,
It's a
it could
good
last
repair,
100
yeah.
years, it could last a day. There's no way to tell.
If you put a saddle sleeve on it, those are still in the ground after 100 years, so we should.
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
that.
it's
should last.
just if something else popped
Yeah.
instead, but
Yeah.
If someday we ever have a lot of free cash, then you go after that and
replace
fix
the
it.
pitless adapter.
In 20
Yeah.
years, when these notes are paid off.
Yeah.
What's a pitless adapter go for?
So it's about $100,000.
Installed or?
Well, it was, so the top, well, the casing, about 50,000. But then you have to, like, it's not a job we can do because of its location.
Yeah,
So you have to
How
hire
deep is it down below grade? Is it about 4 feet or 8 feet?
No, it's about
Low,
6,
yeah.
7 feet down.
We couldn't change that, dig down parallel in the middle of July and
right
just.
there.
No, not because of its location. I mean, no, because we have issues with some critters that have made issues for us.
Alright,
Yeah, that would not be a,
okay. Put a balloon in the, a churn test ball in the shaft and then just, so in case we fall, no?
No.
that's not why.
Alright. Okay.
Yeah, you can't see.
How did you find this?
So you've made the repair, and the repair should hold.
Right.
How'd you find the leak? Was it?
Well, because I went down there to
Ground?
look, because I want to see everything when it's going, and I saw it bubbling up.
Okay. Bubbling is the word.
Bubbling.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, on
And
the
that
surface it was
was-
bubbling, down below it was doing something
Yeah,
different.
no, I-
Considering how cold, that was like the worst of when it started
Oh,
getting
yeah,
real cold.
it was brutal,
That-
but,
The crews, that was really
yeah,
some serious work out there.
nobody
Not
complained,
easy.
we got the job done.
This was at Manley Street, so this is on the other side from the
Riverwell.
plant?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I figured that was worth talking as new business since that just came up. And it's not something we had to vote on. That's the end. All right, let's see. Any other new business?
No,
No, old business. This is the right one? Yes, it is. Job description, I did get the thing you sent me about the waterworks stuff,
Yeah,
the price, the rates and whatnot, but
Yeah.
I couldn't get, they had a spreadsheet, the data for where the raw data for all their stuff came from.
yeah.
Was supposed to be able to download, I couldn't get it to download.
All right, if I
you tried-
get time, I'll try to download it. Hopefully things slow down.
Yeah, I mean, I'll try again or I'll see what else, but it's supposed to download it to like a spreadsheet
Yeah.
format. And I tried it a couple times and it didn't come out, so
All right.
then we can kind of move along with that. We'll start to have some numbers and we can start to, see, going down in the hole and doing all that isn't exactly in a normal superintendent's job
No.
description. What you were just doing that
But
week.
I wanted it done right and
Yep.
well, thank you.
Okay, Lincoln Street project, the invoice, do we have anything new on that?
so I did give you a copy of his response. The invoice is not more about if someone hadn't asked for a gate valve, we wouldn't be seeing this invoice at all. Because that project is not our project.
Yeah.
It's the warehouse's project, but I think in this case, they exceeded their contingency fund, so I asked him to write a description of what he spoke, I spoke with him today about it. He said, yeah, his numbers were kind of out whack, but he gave you a description of why. At this point, the warehouse is also looking for a sign off from me, and I'm not giving it to him. Because this truly is their project, it's not our project. I mean, I don't mind paying for the gate valve and whatever else, the parts that were installed.
Yeah.
There may be an hour or two of labor, but to pay for the thing, this pipe it was in the ground, working perfectly fine until the warehouse did the intersection and had to do the hydrant. The pipe, I guess, was falling apart as he moved through it, so
That's what he says in there.
they just had to keep going at it to replace stuff.
But they would have owned that anyway.
Yeah, so they would have owned that anyways, yes. There's nothing, the only part that we owned was the gate valve.
Okay, give him one.
So they want $7,000,
And he's,
Yeah.
yeah, he's still asking for $7,000.
and how much was it?
Originally, I think it was 12.
Oh, yeah.
7's too
No.
high.
What's a gate valve? A couple of grand?
So a gate valve is probably about $1,000, $800 to $1,000, and then the
And he was
associated
digging
fee-
beside it, and he was digging the hole anyways.
Yes, he had to be in there anyways. It's just that the pipe kept falling apart, I guess, as he was trying to attach
And
to
he
it.
said, but that's not just where the valve was, that's when he was doing the hydrant branch that he was gonna be doing anyway.
Right, The
So
other
that's
thing is-
not, so he owns that.
right.
Alright.
But a gate valve and a couple of couplings or,
We give him the cost of materials.
So I can ask Kevin for costs on a gate valve.
Don't he own us a hydrant?
He did put in the hydrant.
No, isn't there supposed to be another hydrant up the road?
So there was supposed to be, but when I got an invoice for this, I had no idea what was going on. So I told him, don't touch that hydrant, because I didn't want to get another invoice.
Who owns the hydrant?
So we own the hydrant now because they've moved past it. They were supposed to replace it, the one up the street.
Okay.
But about the time they were about to do that work, I got the invoice for $12,000. I'm like, all right, they're charging us for stuff here that they're supposed to be doing. I don't touch that hydrant. Nobody was explaining to me what was going on. I just got, a giant invoice for something I shouldn't have been invoiced for.
So they owe us a hydrant.
So they do owe us one more hydrant
So why
replacement
do
per
we-
the project.
Why are we talking about this?
Because we were sent an invoice. I have to talk to you about it.
But they haven't finished the.
Yeah, but we're trying to bother you.
Right.
So they owe us a hydrant,
Yep.
okay?
Yep.
Well, now the road's paved.
Right.
Now we're gonna cut the road.
No, well, technically, they might be able to get in without even messing with the sidewalk, but it's really close to the edge of the sidewalk.
Just replace the hydrant and not the branch.
Right. Well, in that one, it did not say anything about the branch. This one actually didn't say the T, but it's a lead and oakum joint. You can't cut that close to the lead and
Yeah.
oakum T and not mess it up. It's gonna leak.
We we had 3 years of that road being
Right.
decombobulated.
Yeah, so it's about time to start over again.
Traffic hasn't gotten any better at times.
It's unbelievable.
And that's without anything going into the warehouse yet.
Right.
Right. So he's looking for us.
He's
seven-
looking for $7,000. I'll entertain a motion to say we're not gonna give him $7,000.
And he still owes us a hydrant.
He owes us a hydrant.
Well, let's go away with this
Okay.
first.
All right,
Just-
I'm sorry, you entertain the motion for what? I'm sorry.
To not pay the $7,000.
I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So that's done. We're not paying him the $7,000.
So
Now,
they may rebut against the hydrant because I told them not to do it because I had no idea what was going on and I didn't
Well,
want.
he got a good right. He got a good right to argue that. You put the kiboshes on that hydrant.
Right, because I had
And
no
I'd
idea.
be fighting that too.
Well, but at a minimum, they would at least, we're entitled to the cost of the hydrant.
But when
which is
you,
a couple
when you
of
gotta
grand.
put a hydrant in, they own it.
Right.
And your superintendent knocks it off, to me, that means I'm free and clear.
okay, then give us the hydrant.
But
because
give
you
us the
still owe
hydrant, the cost of materials, right?
Well, if I give you a hydrant, you're gonna put the hydrant in?
Eventually, someplace. If
Not
you're-
there.
You own a hydrant on that job.
That hydrant's no good, it should be fixed.
For some reason, we gave them the hydrant. I had nothing to do with this. I was not there. And that's why the hydrant came back. They were supposed to supply a hydrant, not us.
So they still owe us one. What's a hydrant cost?
It's about $2 grand.
Okay, so they
Depending
owe us,
upon when you buy them.
so give us a grand and we'll call it even. They're grand for the
Yeah,
for
they
the
won't be able
valve.
to pay us in rand. They might be able to give us the valve.
Okay.
But I mean, but as far as that go, they got an argument for about $1,000 from us for the valve they put in.
Right,
okay.
At our direction.
We could
They-
keep, I'm sorry, go
Okay.
ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm just thinking out loud. They owe us a couple of grand for a hydrant that they didn't have to put in.
Right.
Because even if you told them to stop because of the invoice, that doesn't mean they didn't still have to put it in before the job was done.
Right.
Correct.
So they owe us the hydrant.
Correct.
Yep.
But if we keep talking about this stuff, right, should we have what the gates, the pipe, have a number, and then find out what a new hydrant costs? That would be you. So when we come up and have the meeting, we say, well, here's the parts for the gates. It's $2,568. Instead of getting bills for $7,000, we can argue it. Don't you agree?
But
We should do our homework.
we don't have the slips, but we've got
We don't need the
800
slips,
We've got, well, Wayne already said, it's about $800 for the gate,
but he's,
plus something for the other.
I think we should just have it actual. Just,
Okay.
hey, a hydrant's this much, the gate's this much.
So,
Okay.
can you get actual numbers on a hydrant and a gate
Yep.
for next meeting?
Yes.
Please.
And then we can talk about it.
Then they're gonna say, well, the cost of hydrants has gone up in the
But at least
past.
we've already thrown away the $7,000. We've gotten rid of, that part. And we'll figure out what we wanna do. Now, that'll be a Mueller gate valve, right?
Yeah.
What happened, So we're down at JRD, what
No,
happened to this?
we're out, that's what we
That's
just
what we just
killed.
had.
That's what we just killed.
Right, but I must have been asleep, what happened to the superintendent job position?
Wayne got from Mass Water Works, what they call it, a salary survey stuff, but I couldn't get it all to come down, to just print it out to bring it. So we can put the package together of what the superintendent, what they're being paid, what we're gonna put in the job description, so we can get into it in some kind of detail. I'll end up sending that, well, I'll have Terry send, that stuff will get to you before the meeting we talk about it at. That way we're not, everybody has a chance to look at it before we have to sit down and start going through
And
it.
Terry, don't email it to them, just take it down to Dunkin' Donuts.
Can't, that's an open meeting.
Man, don't see, I'm sitting in the middle here.
I already had one of those last year.
What, a
An
Dunkin'
open
Donut?
meeting law violation. Board of Health.
Well, that's why I won't talk to you guys about
And
anything.
we're not talking about anything. This is it.
I think we should figure this out quick and hard
Well,
on this superintendent job. Because when he leaves, we're gonna be holding the bag.
that's why we're doing what we're doing.
It's
And
taking-
that's why we're talking about keeping him on part-time afterwards.
Oh,
You're
Jesus.
gonna have to keep we can't gonna have somebody, we can't hire before he's gone, somebody on full-time. So we're
Why?
gonna need some overlap. We're gonna pay two full-time superintendents? It's not in our budget. That's what you'd have to do, if you're gonna hire them on early. So what we wanna try to do is get it so we have help.
I have budgeted for him to come in early.
How much did you budget?
I budgeted 50,000.
All right, 50,000. Okay. That's a good
So what
target.
we're gonna do is we're gonna hire somebody the day he's leaving, then hire him back to teach the new guy.
We're hoping we hire him beforehand. Him
But-
him or her.
But if not, we have the ability to have the overlap be after the fact, if we have to.
Mark just wants me gone.
No. Can't go, you still live in town. You'll be at every meeting.
And I'll be able to afford to stay in town now.
Come on, let's not get off track here with stuff like that that's gonna get us in trouble with other town departments.
About what?
But with that, hopefully with that, get those numbers down so we can
Yeah.
start looking at it, and we'll try to get the list of the job, the descriptions and the other stuff out, so you can have an idea before we do it, and start talking about it in public. You at least have a chance to look at what's in, what they do, what other superintendents do, and what we're gonna be able to advertise for. Anything else on that?
Nope.
Meters, anything else, hear anything from Stiles yet?
It's a long meeting tonight.
Next meeting?
Are we still, you just have to get back to it.
Yeah,
I didn't know
I
if you
gotta
were,
ask her.
I didn't know if you were looking something up.
No, because, well, everything went kablooey, so.
Yeah, well, I know, stuff happens. So right now, we're on, the next meeting is February,
Tuesday, February 17th.
Tuesday. Oh, that's right.
yeah, 5 o'clock. Anything else to be discussed tonight?
Motion to adjourn. Mark?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No one's opposed. Surprise, surprise.